India. India is the world's second largest producer of food next to China. The total food production in India is likely to double in the next 10 years. Health food and health food supplements is another rapidly rising segment in this industry. The transition phase of the Indian food service industry can be divided into 3 stages. In the 1990s, the majority of organized restaurant food joints were concentrated in Tier 1. In the metro cities like Mumbai, Delhi, Chennai, Bangalore, and Hyderabad. These were the most sought-after destinations as this is where the development and growth was happening in terms of infrastructure and businesses.
So in the early 2000s, witnessed development in a lot of Tier 2 cities on the back on India's growth story. Rapidly growing economic activity in these cities led to increased urbanization, increased disposable income in hands of the consumer, and also changed consumption patterns. Also, it showcased lucrative opportunity to focus on a huge untapped population. So, lucrative means a great deal of profit.
The present decade is representing a consolidation phase, where the unorganized sector is undergoing a phase of identification, evaluation, and selection. Franchisors are hoisting their flags in India and the sector of becoming more organized.
Never untapped markets like highways are seeing increasing penetration by organized like McDonald's, Sagar, Ratna, Coffee Day, and others. So when we say never untapped, we do not drawn upon or utilize or take advantage yet.
There are 2 markets in India that is part of their history in the food service industry. One is the QSR market construction, or the quick service restaurant. In the market overview, the quick service restaurant have been a key segment for the Indian food service market and have grown over the years. At the city level share of the QSR market rests in the metros and mini metros, due in higher consumption, highlighted consumer awareness and exposure in the key cities such as Delhi, Mumbai, and Bangalore.
Market players. So this market is quite competitive in nature with players operating via Camino offerings and introducing variation in India and international foods. So it also established international brand offerings of their specialties such as burgers, pizza, wraps, and sandwiches, and etc. Also, they introduced the Taco Bell, which is American fast food franchise that is inspired by Mexican and is also called Tex-Mex because it consists of a wide variety of tacos and quite spicy sauces. And also, they introduce cuisine options like nachos. So, when we say nachos, it is a dish of tortilla chips topped with melted cheese and often also other savory toppings. So, international players like McDonald's, Domino's, KFC, Subway, and etc. are offering a mix of both. And lastly, they offer a vegetarian and non-vegetarian food.
There are trends in food service industry in India. The Indian consumers essentially remains diverse in choice and dynamic in nature, demanding the newer, better, and more innovations options, spanning more variety, delightful task, superior quality, and other better value for everyday. New appetite for Indian cuisine. While the past few years have been seen the Indian food services market make a giant leaps in terms of exploring from all the corners of the world. Recent trends suggest a parallel increased interest in Indian cuisine and even beyond the traditionally popular North and South Indian variants.
Indian food service operators continue to focus and innovate by dishing out food that is closer to home. They are also involving nostalgia in process, or nostalgia in other words is presented in order. Also, it increased penetration of convenience food service and the traditional craftsmanship of the chef and their stock of secret recipes are increasingly making way for convenience food. International players like McDonald's, Pizza Hut, Domino's Pizza, KFC, and etc. are preferred to use varied forms of convenience food, either the use as the part of the recipe or as the final serving to the consumer.
India now boasts well-established companies which provide sauces, dairy products, processed meats, frozen food, ready to eat, ready to cook, pickles, and etc. of a very high quality and manufactured in plants operating and international standards.
Sides and desserts emerging as key contributors. Food service operators, especially restaurant operators, have realized that also growth is triggered by consumers' tendency to make impulse purchases. So that's why they add ons on the side dishes to help initiate such purchases.